So I was talking to a client the other day, and he was expressing some frustrations that he had with his wife that I hear often from men. And it made me realize a lot of women don't know how to maximize their husband. Maximize means to make great as possible. So I want to give you four things to help you maximize your husband. Have you ever noticed that when God said it's not good for man to be alone, his solution was to create for him a helper? That means that Eve was not created simply for companionship. So you need a helper if you're going to do things that you can't do alone. Three things that a man can't do by himself: create a baby, his God given assignment, and life, right? Or should I say, meet his own relational needs. So he needs a helper in those three areas. But I want to share with you today four things that you can do that would maximize any man, including yours. But before I do that, let me tell you why you should want to maximize your man. Imagine there's two boxers in a ring, two heavyweights. One's your husband, the other one we're gonna call life, right? So your husband is in the ring battling. Now you are the wife, you are the corner man. Okay. So your husband, he's doing his thing. He's boxing, he's fighting. Bell rings, he comes to the corner. Now, when your husband comes to the corner, one eye is swollen, the other eye is hanging out, lips are swollen, right? He's all black and blue. He sits down. He's depleted, almost defeated. He wants to give up. He's like, man, life is putting them hands on me. I don't know what to do. And then here you come in his ear. Depending on what you say will determine how this next round goes. So you're in his ear and you say, baby, hey, look, you can knock him out. I done seen you knock out bigger guys than this. I know it's in you. You are an amazing man. Here, let me put your eye back in. Let me put some water on your head. Here, let me give you some of that because you can do this. I know you can. You are strong and mighty. You are more than a conqueror, right? You're speaking good stuff in his ear. Why? Because you're trying to build him up. You're trying to maximize him so he can go back out there and continue to fight. Now, same scenario. Imagine he comes to the corner and this is you in his ear. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you're not swinging. Like, he gonna knock you out. Like, come on now. You've been trained better than this. You're not even trying. Like, I don't even know why I came to this fight. Like, are you gonna fight or what? Here's what's gonna happen when the bell rings. Your husband gonna go right out there and get knocked out. He gonna be laid out on the canvas because of the words that you spoke into his ears, right? Now, you can't get in the ring. Now, since we're going to take the analogy all the way, yeah, you may have your own fights, but you're not going to fight a heavyweight. You're not going to fight the heavyweights he's fighting. You need him to fight the heavyweights. So you have to maximize him so he can do that because watch this. When he wins the fight, the whole team wins. Like when Money Mayweather fights, when Mayweather wins the fight, the whole team gets paid. Now, he may get the most money, and that's a different analogy. But my point is, if he wins, you win. That is why if you don't learn to maximize your man, eventually that brother's going to check out. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that he can't check back in, but a man checking out of his marriage or his family is dangerous. Why? Because there's an enemy of marriage, and he recognizes if he can destroy the man, then he can destroy the family. And when the man checks out, the enemy has a plan waiting on him. But if you learn to maximize your man, you help your man thwart the enemy's plan to destroy him and the marriage. So learn to maximize your man. You say, how? Okay, I'm going to give you four things. I'm going to give you four things to help you maximize your husband. The first thing you need to do is learn how to talk to your husband. Yeah, you got to learn how to talk to your husband. See, I've been talking about how men are raised, but the thing is, women are not raised to know how to talk to a man. You can't just talk to a man however you want to. Like, it doesn't matter how good your advice is. It doesn't matter how good what you are saying is. If what you are saying is wrapped in disrespect, that brother's not going to receive it. Too often I hear husbands saying, "Man, she always talking to me like I'm a child." What you can't do is talk to your husband like he's a child. I don't care how immature he acts. You can't talk to him like a child and expect that to go well for you. And that's the thing. So your husband will probably never tell you how much your words hurt, but they do. By the time you find out the words hurt, it's at level 10 or he's checked out or something, right? So first thing I want you to learn how to talk to your husband in a respectful way, because you have to be his wisdom sometimes. If you can't get a word to him because you don't know how to communicate with him, y'all gonna suffer. Here's what the Bible says. It is better to live on the corner of a roof than in the house with a contentious woman. A contentious woman is a woman that likes to argue and nag and fight all the time. Don't be that. Next thing is this. Learn how to show more appreciation to your husband. Support him as he's trying to move the world for you. I mean, I know it's for us, right? It's for the family unit, but support that brother while he's out there trying to move the world. Sometimes your husband needs to know that you appreciate the fact that he simply goes to work every day. Why? Because for him, there are some days when just leaving the house and going to work is a heavy weight on him and he feels like quitting. You don't know how many times your husband has felt like quitting, but he didn't because he know he can't. But that don't mean he don't have the feeling. Your appreciation can alleviate some of that pressure that he feels, because here's what appreciation does. Appreciation says, you see me. All human beings want to be seen. Every one of them. Now, here's the third thing. I want you to make sure that you are an encourager of your husband, right? Make sure that you build him up, not tear him down. And here's the thing, ladies. You may not be adding more pressure to him. He's adding it to himself. He's the pressure of him disappointing you, even though you may say, well, I ain't even tripping on that. He is, because we've been conditioned that way. He's not going to tell you when he's struggling. He's not going to tell you when something is bothering him, right? I know it's unfortunate and it sounds unfair. I tell folk all the time, fair don't live on this planet. Okay, so if you married, just get fair out your head. But here's the thing. Even if he did tell you, you wouldn't understand, because you're not a man. You're not conditioned the way that we are in society. You would never understand, as a female, the pressure that your man is under. You got to learn to encourage him, to keep him focused, and to keep him working hard, because the husband is the one that's going to move the family. You're not going to move the family. In general, it's the husband that moves the family. And you need that brother strong, encouraged, and working. So when you do say something about an area that he needs to improve or whatever, if you don't build him up first, you may be tearing him down without even knowing it. It's not your fault, but it is what you chose. And you chose to love a man. That's what comes with loving a man most of the time, right? Learn to encourage him. Ladies, what you may not realize, when life gets hard, that's not the time for you to get frustrated and turn towards him and just beat him up with your words. If he's the one that's making things happen, but things aren't happening, then wisdom says build him up so he can move the family forward, right? He may not need you to come up with solutions. I know you want to help by helping him figure it out, but that may not be what he needs from you. He may just need you to stand by his side and encourage him. One time, the Israelites were in a battle with the Amalekites, right? Moses was on a hill and he had his staff in his hand. He's holding the staff up, right? So while Moses is holding up his staff, the Israelites on the battlefield, they're winning. The Bible says they're getting the advantage. But then every now and then he gets tired, and so his arms come down. When he lower his arms, then the Amalekites, they get the advantage. So on another hill, Aaron and Hur, I believe that was Ben-Hur, but they see what's going on with Moses. So they go over to where Moses is. They get a stone for him. They get a boulder for him to sit on so that he can rest, right? And then they lift up his arms. They hold his arms up. And when they do that, the arms stay up and the Amalekites end up losing. Israel defeats the Amalekites in the battle because Aaron and Hur held up Moses' arms. When Aaron and Hur went saw that Moses was getting tired, if they had gone to the battlefield to help the Israelites fight, if they had come up with the solution, hey, we're starting to lose, let's go jump in the fight, they'd have lost the whole battle. But that's not what they did. What did they do? They went to the leader. They went to God's chosen leader. They gave him comfort. How? By having him sit down. And then they gave him support. How? By lifting up his arms. They gave him comfort and support, and then that's how they won the battle. So when they did that, then Moses was able to do what God called him to do, which is lead the people to victory in the same way. Y'all know I like saying in the same way. In the same way. Sometimes, most times, your husband just needs you to hold his arms up, right? He don't need you to fight the battle for him. Learn to hold his arms up so the whole family can win. Here's the fourth one. Stop treating sex like a reward. I know if I was live and it was fellas in the audience, y'all would be clapping right now. So I'm imagining clapping in my mind. Matter of fact, can I give y'all some clapping? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wives, stop treating sex like a reward. Sex is not a reward. It has always baffled me why women in general, why women treat sex like they're doing the man a favor, like she's not having an orgasm too. Like, women like sex? That's like my 8-year-old grandson allowing me to buy him a whole bunch of toys if I act right. It's for your benefit. What? That don't make sense. Ladies, stop doing that. Stop rationing the sex. Okay? You are the only person that brother can get sex from. And again, I don't think I said this, but let me say this now. I'm talking about good men and good husbands. Okay? Now, if you don't feel like you got a good husband, well, y'all got a different issue. Y'all need to call me and we can work some other stuff out, right? So I'm speaking in general, good husbands. I thought that was assumed, but probably not. Stop using sex as a reward or a weapon. I ain't even talking about a weapon, right? I might talk about that next time. But stop using sex as a reward. Now hold it, ladies, before I lose you. Yes, that brother needs to learn how to romance you. He needs to take you on dates. He needs to know how to turn you on mentally and all of that, right? Yes, he needs to know how to do all of that. But this video is about how to love a man. So I'll cover that another time, right? So, but yes, I understand that needs to happen. Okay, so that's a given. I get that, right? While I'm on sex, initiate sometimes. Like, you don't have to initiate every time. If y'all have sex 7 times, initiate one out of 7. 1 out of 7. Act like you want to have sex. And don't make everything a quickie. I just did the 30 days of 30 things I would tell people. And one of them was have as much sex as possible. For you to have a healthy marriage, that was my suggestion. That's on the list of 30. Have as much healthy sex as possible and limit how many quickies you have. Why? Because sex is about intimacy. It's not just about pleasure. And so quick is about pleasure. I'm not going to go into that whole thing. But the point is, stop treating sex like a reward. That's the biggest message. I know from experience, women, you don't like it when men say this. But it's true. I'm not talking about right. I'm talking about reality, right? Stop leaving the door open for the cleanup woman. No, there's nothing you can do to make your man cheat. That's a free will choice. So I'm not saying, give him some so he won't cheat. I would never say that. But what I am saying is, don't make it easy. Like, there's temptation everywhere. Why would you send your man out into the world of vultures when you don't have to? Honestly, appreciation and encouragement, both sometimes you can cover with sex. Okay, so I'm gonna end with this. Well, actually, so before I end, let me say this. Let me give this little small disclaimer. I know that there's a lot to be said on this particular topic on both sides, right? This is just a small window into how to love a man and make it a little easier on you, like giving you some tips on how to love a man. But I am not making women responsible for the bad things that men do. Regardless of what's going on inside, all of us are responsible for our own behavior. When I was talking to my client yesterday, I told him this. I gave him this analogy. On every corner, there's a store. There's stores everywhere, right? And these stores serve the things that your husband is craving: appreciation, attention, encouragement, sex, compliments, support, laughter, connection. All these stores, they have it. And so here's the thing. You are his store at the house. So the husband has a store, but it's hardly ever open. When the store is hardly ever open, what do you so you keep your store closed, but then you send him out into the world and you expect him to just cover his eyes and not be tempted by all the other stores. When these other stores out in the world, they got flashing neon lights say special today, on sale today, come get it now while it's hot. And you want him to just walk by all of that. And he's craving it. He's starving because the store at his house is closed. It opens once a week. It's open today. Hey, let me give you some encouragement. Oh, the store's closed again. Hey, you need some connection? Come back Tuesday. Between now and Tuesday, that brother done walked by so many stores, but because he has integrity, walking by the other stores don't make him want to go in. It makes him angry at you. Listen, if you need help in your marriage, I'm having a 3-day workshop. It's called the Rules of Engagement Conflict Resolution Workshop. And I'm going to, for 3 days, help you learn how to resolve conflict better so that you can create a deeper connection in your marriage. So the link is in the description, and I hope to see you at the workshop. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody that you think would benefit from it. Okay? All right. Y'all take care.